everyone. Welcome to today's prenatal session. You'll need, in terms of props, 2 blocks and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can always use blocks. We are going to do a flow that's going to be a nice way to reconnect to your ever-changing body, your baby. There'll be some tools for labor. But otherwise, just a really nice full body flow that will help release a bit into the hips and open into the upper body. So if you're ready, please come to sit on your mat. I'm sitting on the bolster, and as you can see, the bolster doesn't come through, so my knees are together, feet either side of the bolster, spine long. Think really here, especially in the lower back, to release the tailbone down so that we're not crunching into the lower back area, but rather keeping it nice and long. And then I'll invite you to place one hand over baby and one hand over the heart. And as you just slowly relax the shoulders, keeping them just soft either side of the ears, the chin very gently cast down so that the back of the neck stays long. And then I invite you to close the eyes as you take the first few moments to anchor yourself into your seat, anchor yourself into your space as you connect to the parts of the body that are in direct contact with the ground or prop underneath you. Allowing the spine to grow tall, crown of the head reaching high. And coming to notice the breath, which is already here. And if you can, initially we're just breathing in and out through the nose. Paying attention to sounds, sensations. Perhaps you're at a stage of the pregnancy where baby is already kicking and moving. And so just enjoying, as we first settle onto our mats, that idea of connection to baby, to our body. Quietly, lovingly observing what is. And then we're going to practice our golden thread breath. And so for this, you're going to be breathing in through the nose and then through gently open lips, exhaling through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, nice long deep breath in. Exhaling almost through the back of the teeth. And as you continue breathing in this way, perhaps visualizing a golden thread or whatever color you'd like to visualize, but a thread that is leaving the mouth and moving out in front of you as far as you can reach, as you lengthen every time the exhalation a little longer. This is a lovely practice to do, especially in the early stages of labor. A nice way to help connect to what's happening, but release and relieve any of the pains from the start of your contractions. Trying to keep the facial expression relaxed, the space between the eyebrows soft as you move through this breath practice. Two hearts, two bodies sharing one breath. Taking one or two more breaths in this way. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing the hands, interlacing the hands behind you. Maybe the hands are clasped and the eyes stay closed. Lengthen and draw the hands back as you open through the heart. Taking a couple of breaths here, stretching the arms, the shoulders, keeping the facial expression relaxed. And then slowly release the hands and just change the clasp here so that you have the odd thumb on top. And again, think of lengthening, reaching back, opening through the heart. Keep releasing the tailbone down so that we're not overarching into the lower back. Take one or two more breaths here. And then slowly release. As you open the arms out to the side and up, the right elbow is going to bend. You're going to have your hand more or less in between the shoulder blades, and then use your left hand on the right elbow and gently assist here the elbow back to stretch the back of the arm, feeling the triceps open. And as you continue with this stretch, think of lengthening both sides of the waist and then gently side bend to the left. Try and keep the left side of the waist long, stretching into the intercostal muscles in between the rib cage. And then slowly come back, reach both arms up. And we're just going to change sides. So this time left elbow bends, using the right hand to gently assist the elbow back, stretching a bit more into the tricep. Lengthen through both sides of the waist, and then keeping that length, gently side bending to the right. And again, breathing here in the space that we are creating, giving ourselves and baby a bit more space. Last breath. And then slowly make your way back through center. Reach both hands up and gently exhale as you reach the hands by your side. So if you are sitting on a block, you're just going to move it to the side for a moment. Okay. And come onto all fours. So from all fours, just bringing the toes together, sending the hips back. You're going to do a yoni mudra with the hands. So tip of the index and thumbs together, and place it in front of you. And then as you breathe in, you're slowly coming forward, engage your core. Inhale and exhale, round into the spine, gazing towards baby as you hug baby in towards the spine, sending the hips back. So we're going to move a little more fluidly. As you're breathing in, you're engaging the arms here, inhaling and then exhaling, hugging baby towards the spine as you send the hips back. So moving in a way that feels quite freeing for you, inviting a sense of fluid motion, a watery quality to the movement. Doing that 2 more times. And then release in child's pose. Bring the hands quite wide and back to all fours. tuck the toes under, and again, we're bringing the feet as wide maybe as the mat here. So inhale, we're going to lengthen gently forward, opening the heart forward without overarching into the lower back, and then exhaling, round into the spine, gaze towards baby as you hug, using the transverse abdominis, drawing baby towards the spine. 2 more times, breathing in and exhaling. And then you're going to walk the hands a little closer towards the knees. Hover the knees off the ground and start to send the hips back and out, keeping a nice bend in the knees here as you come into a slightly modified downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Hands press into the mat. Think of wrapping the armpits under. You might want to pedal one leg out and then the other. If you don't want to stay here too long, that's also fine. We're going to bend the knees, walk the hands a little closer towards the feet, bring the forearms onto your thighs, keep a nice strong bend in the knees, and then engaging the glutes and the thighs. Slowly lift yourself all the way up to stand, hands float up and over, and then exhale into your chair pose, Utkatasana variation. So knees are bent. We're keeping the little pinky fingers gently turned in, and feel here the power, that fire that we're starting to build into the legs. The toes should be relaxed, so you think of spreading the toes out. Again, lengthening the tailbone down. Feel free to, if you need, place the hands in front of the heart. We're just staying a few more breaths here. Soft smile across the face. And then slowly release the legs. Arms come back by your side. And we're going to have the hands on the hips, soft bend in the knees, and start to circle our hips in one direction. Again, in a way that feels releasing. We're not forcing the movement. We're bringing a really nice opening into the pelvis, the hips, releasing into the lower back. Feel free to have the eyes closed, drawing the awareness inwards. Maybe hands are gently cupping baby. And then we'll change direction with the circles. Lovely. Back through center. So we're going to come back down. So especially if you have pelvic girdle pain or any pain around the lower back, the way of coming down is really important. And so as you have a nice bend in the knees, coming back into your chair pose, Utkatasana, releasing the forearms or the hands on the thighs, and then as you slowly reach for the floor, walking the hands forward, and then both knees come at the same time to touch the ground. And so as you're doing that, we're still engaging the core. You're feeling the power in the legs here. Lovely. So I'm just moving back a little bit. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into your cat. Come back to center. And with the rib cage, I'd like you to visualize a sort of a lovely circle here. So you're going to start to move the rib cage over to the right and then slowly release it down and then move it over to the left and then press it all the way up. And in that way, creating some circles. The invitation here is for you to allow your body to move really in a way that feels freeing. So it might look very different to what I'm doing, and that's okay. But whether you're moving more in a circular action, you might actually want to do figures of 8, but just move in a way that is releasing. This is so good also for removing any tension from the lower back, as all of baby's weight is just in front of the belly. And again, a really nice movement to do in early stages of labor and labor. Maybe the eyes are closed. And maybe you're practicing your golden thread breath, breathing in through the nose and then trying to lengthen your exhalation through the mouth. We'll change direction with the circles, continuing with that golden thread breath. And then coming back through center. So you're going to place the right hand maybe a little bit closer to the center of your mat. Open the left arm out. Think of pressing both hands away from one another, creating space through the upper back. And then as you breathe out, with threading the left arm behind the right as you come to the ground, left cheek or temple to the ground. And then with your right hand, a few options. You could either open and stretch the right hand away towards the top of the mat, creating a bit more space. You might want to extend and reach the right hand up, or come into a gentle bind here, placing the right hand to the left thigh. Keep breathing here, sending the right hip back. And then slowly release the right hand back in front of you. Press into the right hand. Come back to all fours, doing 1 or 2 rounds of cat-cow, coming back into symmetry. Meeting in a neutral spine, and then we're doing the other side. So left hand just comes a little bit closer into the center of the mat. Inhaling, right hand reaches up, thinking of drawing the hands away from one another, creating space in the chest. And then exhaling as you thread the right arm, this time behind the left, coming onto the right cheek or the right shin. A few options with the left hand. You could either stay and keep it exactly where it is. Maybe you're walking the left arm forward, creating a bit more space. Maybe the hand reaches up, or binding. Again, choosing the variation that suits your body today. And then wherever you are, thinking of sending the left hip back a little bit and breathing in a way that feels spacious. Maybe with your golden thread. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly releasing. Left hand comes back in front of your face. Press into the hand. Come back to hands and knees. Walk the hands a little closer towards the knees. Toes are tucked under. Feet wide. Lifting both knees off the ground at the same time as you start to send and press the hips back and up into your modified Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Keep the crown of the head reaching towards the floor, wrapping the armpits under, strong arms. Feel free to pedal the legs out here. And then both knees are bent, feet grounded. As you start to walk the hands a little closer towards the feet, nice bend in the knees, engage the glutes. Forearms come onto your thighs, and then slowly come and find your chair pose, Utkatasana. And in your chair pose, we remember we're thinking of lengthening the tailbone down. 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then power in the legs as you lift up. Lovely. Releasing the arms by your side. So hands on the hips, we're going to start to move in a figure of 8, infinity sign. Again, knees are soft. Inviting fluidity, release into the hips. As we really balance the notion of strengthening the hips, which we need to do, especially as our weight changes and our belly grows, but also that sense of easing, softness, opening, and then changing direction with the loops. Lovely. Inhaling, hands reach up and over. Exhale into your chair pose. Placing the forearms to the thighs. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round baby towards the spine. And then walk the hands on your mat further forward. And then knees coming down at the same time. Engage your core, engage the legs. Lovely. So I'm going to just turn around you for this one. So left foot comes to the outside of your mat. You might need your blocks here. So especially in the later stages of pregnancy, having blocks can be a nice way just to create a bit more space. So foot is on the ground. You're going to just rock initially forward and back a little bit, creating a bit of movement, a bit of space in the hips. And then when you're ready, with that left hip starting to draw small circles in one direction. And again, the idea here, if you can, is to keep the eyes closed, feeling the movement rather than paying too much attention to what it looks like. Just such a lovely movement for your body, releasing, but also for baby inside. You're giving him a lovely hammock experience. And so see how you can bring a bit more softness, a bit more ease. And then change direction with the circles. Lovely, coming back through center. So you're going to walk the right hand back onto your mat and then just come to place the left foot across. You're reaching the left hand up and over. Think of that stretching. You're sending the hips forward. If you need to, of course, you're placing a block underneath your right hand. Engage this. You might want to stay here. Otherwise, maybe lifting the left leg up and then exhale, drawing knee towards elbow. Inhaling as you lengthen. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Last two, breathing in and out. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Think of lengthening, releasing foot, hand coming back into our initial position. Maybe doing 1 or 2 rounds of cat-cow. Lovely. And from here, gently bring your left leg back in. If you're using blocks on the other side, just have them ready as you extend the right foot now to the outside of your mat. And so again, we're maybe just starting by rocking a little bit further forward and back. Notice how this side feels. And then when you're ready, we're starting to circle into the right hip. Moving in a way that feels fluid, ironing out any rough edges or corners that you might encounter, and making sure that you're not holding the breath. So at all point, we keep breathing as you breathe, baby breathes. And then changing direction with the circles. Lovely, coming back through center. Maybe using a block if you did so on the other side, underneath the left hand, and then right leg reaches back. We've got the foot and knee more or less on the same line. We're thinking of sending the hips forward and maybe reaching the right hand up and maybe over. And again, we're pressing, we're making sure that we're not crumpling into the left shoulder. Maybe you're staying here and breathing and really working with that space. Maybe you're thinking of engaging through the core, hugging maybe towards the spine as you lift the leg. And again, other option, as you next breathe out, drawing knee towards elbow, doing that 5 times, breathing in, exhaling. And exhale. Last 2, breathing in, exhaling out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, find length, release the foot, release the hand, and then slowly come back to an all-fours position. Toes together, knees out wide as you send the hips back into your Balasana Child's Pose. So again, depending on where you are in your pregnancy, you might want to use your block on a medium or high setting, really up to you. Just placing the forehead there, allowing space for baby in between your thighs, and allowing once again yourself to pay attention very closely to the breath, to the sensations in your body, knowing that at any point in the practice you can always come back to this pose. If you're ready to move on, slowly rising, again hands to the ground, bringing the toes out, knees a little closer in as you walk your hands once again back towards the knees. Hover both knees up at the same time as you press back into your modified Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Knees are bent. Walk the hands towards your feet and then placing one forearm on one thigh, the other on the other. Power in the legs as you come all the way up. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Lovely. So if you come back to the front of your mat, you're going to ground through the right foot. Start to peel the left foot up. Maybe wobble, that's fine. Just find that center of gravity. And then with a soft bend in the standing leg, start to send the left foot back into a high lunge just to start with. So in your high lunge, you might want to start with the back knee bent and think of releasing the tailbone down, feeling the stretch in the left thigh, and then if you can, keeping the stretch, start to straighten the back leg. And then we're grounding through the outer step of the back foot and toe heeling the right foot a bit over to the right, preparing for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So our feet are slightly wider than usual, toes are relaxed and spread. Lovely. As you're breathing in, you're going to open both palms up, finding that opening through the chest, keep the legs strong. And then as you breathe out, rounding a little bit, creating that really nice opening and movement in the shoulders. So as we breathe in, we're opening. As we breathe out, feeling the reversing action. Last one, breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, come back through your warrior two. Palms are still facing up. Breathing in, lengthen the front leg, both hands float up and over. Exhaling into Virabhadrasana 2. Doing that 2 more times, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Lovely. From here, lifting the back heels, swiveling onto the ball of the back foot. If you feel like your stance is too long, you're just stepping the left foot in a little bit. Feeling, again, that nice balance between front foot, back foot. Lovely. So we're going to cross the left arm over the right at elbow height. 2 options. Either you've got your hands on your shoulders, or you come into your Garudasana, eagle arms, 1 bind or 2 binds. Move the forearms away from the face. As you breathe in, lengthen both legs, lift the hands up, exhaling back into your high lunge. 3 more, breathing in and out. As you exhale, you're thinking of pressing the left heel back. Last 2, breathing in and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Release the hands. So placing the hands in front of your heart. So we're going to come in from a high lunge. Just checking that you have your blocks in front of you if you need them. So hands gently pressing together. Think of wrapping baby in towards the spine. Start to send the weight of the body forward, and then maybe this is enough. Maybe you're flexing the left foot. Keep drawing the toes down and then lifting up into your Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Of course, you could use your blocks here if you're feeling a bit too wobbly. Hands are on your blocks. So wherever you are, just holding here, feeling crown of the head to the sole of the foot, reaching in opposite direction. And then soft bend in the standing leg as you send your weight back up, Tadasana. Feel free to close the eyes and just to move your hips a little bit side to side. Notice your heart rate. Placing the hands in Yoni Mudra on baby. As we allow the heart rate to quieten. Lovely. And then we're going to do that on the other side. So this time you're grounding through the left foot, spreading the toes, lifting your right foot off, soft bend in the standing leg as you start to send the right foot back into a high lunge. Again, just check that you've got a good distance between front foot and back foot. Press. You're thinking of, you're bending first that back knee, releasing the tailbone down, getting a nice stretch in the front right thigh. And then if you can keep the stretch, you're straightening the back leg. Again, that's just an option. Okay. And then from here, we're grounding through the outer step of the back foot, coming into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So palms are facing up. Inhaling as you open, exhaling as you turn the palms back down. 2 more, breathing in, opening through the heart. Exhale as you round, internal rotation. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, come back through Virabhadrasana 2, palms facing up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, hands come to touch overhead. Exhale. Inhale. Exhaling. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. From here, we're lifting the back heel, swiveling onto the ball of the back foot, maybe stepping a little closer with the back foot, coming just for a moment in your high lunge. And this time, right arm crosses over the left. Your variation with the hands are on the shoulders, all coming to find your bind here. Inhaling, you're straightening the front leg as you reach the hands up. Exhaling back into your high lunge. 3 more, breathing in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one, breathing in. Exhale. Releasing the arms. Hands come back into prayer position as we make our way slowly into warrior 3. So again, choosing your variation, but the foot is flexed, toes turned in and starting to come forward. Remembering you could have your hands on a block here. Just breathing, crown of the head, reaching forward, right sole of the foot reaching back. Soften into the face, remember your breath. Maybe using golden thread breath. And then slowly rise. Placing the right foot next to the left. Hands by your side, or maybe hands on baby and yoni mudra. As we take some very gentle circles with the hips in one direction. Eyes can be closed or just cast down. Lovely. So from here, again, maybe having a block just handy in front of you. You're going to open the feet slightly wider, toes out, heels in, as we prepare for our goddess pose. So as you sink into the hips, lift the toes, spread them on the floor, palms facing up, getting a nice stretch into the wrist. You can either keep your gaze cast down, maybe close the eyes if you feel that the balance is there. And we're feeling, connecting to the heat in our legs. Keep breathing here. Remember your golden thread breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Knowing that this too shall pass. Trying to remain soft in maybe this little struggle. Last 2 breaths. Lovely. Slowly extending through the legs. You're going to bring the insteps of the feet parallel, or ever so slightly pigeon toes, hands on the hips, soft bend in the knees, and then exhale, fold forward. Hands either to the ground or to your block. So from here, we're keeping the right hand where it is and slowly open the left hand up, and again create space here between both hands. Really think of that torsion coming from the rib cage and not the belly, so the hips stay even. If you've got your left hand on your hips, you could actually place a platter tray and it wouldn't be wonky. And so we're breathing here, creating space through the shoulder blades. Feel free to keep the gaze down if that feels better for the neck. And then slowly release the left hand, come back through center. And then when you're ready, right arm reaches back. Again, press the hands in opposite direction, creating space. Breathing here. And then slowly release. Lovely. You're going to toe heel the feet a little closer. Heels in, toes out, and then slowly come into your garland pose, maybe using, so you could use, again, bolster. You might want to use 2 blocks, 1 block. You might be totally fine without blocks. But choosing where you'd like to be today. There's no right or wrong. And the important thing is that we're not curving the spine, that we can keep that sense of space that we've been creating and fostering. So releasing up with the sternum bone, shoulders are relaxed, elbows gently pressing out into the thighs, thighs gently hugging into the elbows. Maybe the eyes are closed, maybe they're just cast down. And I'd like us to just work a bit with our pelvic floor awareness here. So I'd like you to really visualize your hole where you pee and then the hole where you poop, and think as you're breathing in of drawing those 2 points towards the center and up. And then as you exhale, there's a sense of releasing, of letting go both areas. So as you're breathing in, those 2 points drawing together and up. And then exhaling as you soften, completely let go. And maybe you're doing that whilst, if it's not too much, working with your golden thread. Taking one more breath here. Lovely. So from here, just bring the feet together, releasing any props if you were using them. Lovely. Coming to sit cross-legged. Lovely. And then we're just going to circle the torso in one direction 3 to 5 times. And then changing direction whenever you're ready. Lovely. Coming back through center. Placing one hand over the heart, one hand over baby. And we'll seal today's practice with 3 Brahmari breaths, the bumblebee breath. So it's inhaling through the nose and then humming as long as you can on the exhalation. It's such a nice way to calm your nervous system, enabling your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in, but at the same time, it's like this beautiful sonic massage that you're giving your baby. So let's do this together 3 times. Breathing in. Bring your hands into prayer in front of the heart as you bow your gaze towards your heart and baby's heart, honoring this life that you're creating, the wonders that your body is doing to grow a healthy baby inside. Namaste.